Think you've seen crazy builds before? SEMA just blew the doors off with cars so wild, they made last year's look like mall cruisers. We're talking twin supercharged drift wagons, bagged semis on tank tracks, 6-door muscle cars, and one off-the-wall build that had the entire show floor stopping in their tracks. These aren't your average wide-body Lambos or bagged trucks. They are the most insane, no-limits custom cars on the planet, and they all made their debut under the lights at SEMA. Strap in, because today, we're counting down the 10 most insane custom cars we found at SEMA 2025. And number 1 will make you question what's even possible in the world of custom builds. Number 10. 1967 Plymouth GTX EV Restomod. Before you roll your eyes at another EV swap, this beast is hiding some serious Mopar madness under that slick frostbite blue paint. At first glance, it looks like your typical clean Restomod. Tucked bumpers, widened rear wheel openings, carbon fiber splitter, and a set of satin black stripes tipping the hat to its muscle car roots. But pop the custom carbon fiber hood, and you won't find a Hemi. Instead, there's a 335 horsepower Mopar electric crate motor ready to fry tires in dead silence. It's not just a gimmick either. Mopar designed this e-crate system to keep classic car layouts intact. The motor's rotated 90 degrees to nestle comfortably while keeping the rear-wheel drive spirit alive. We're talking a 3-to-1 gear reducer, pushing torque straight to an 8.75-inch rear axle, so you'll still get your back pushed into the seat when you punch it. They didn't slap any off-the-shelf battery in here either. It's running a 73 kilowatt-hour, 4-battery setup, 3 stashed in the trunk in a cartridge-style aluminum frame, and 1 under the hood for better weight distribution. It'll get you about 250 miles of range between charges, which is more than enough to do a few cars and coffee meets before you need to juice it back up. Inside, it's a tasteful blend of old-school muscle and modern tech. They swapped out the steering wheel for a flat-bottom, leather-wrapped piece, finished in vintage bronze with bright orange stitching. The gauges? Fully analog with a 160 mile/hour speedometer, but updated to show your battery charge and motor temps. The rotary shifter comes from a Dodge Durango, and yes, they added a cup holder, so your coffee doesn't spill when you hit the accelerator. Even the seats got the full treatment, pulled from a Jeep Wrangler, reupholstered in indigo blue leather with gunmetal suede inserts, and finished with that same bright orange stitching. The layout was converted to a 2+2, keeping it functional while maintaining comfort on those highway pulls. Underneath, it's lowered on a 3-link suspension with 18 by 9-inch BTG vintage bronze-forged magnesium wheels wrapped in sticky Pirelli P0 tires. Wilwood disc brakes on all 4 corners ensure you can stop on a dime, even with the added weight of the battery packs. You'd think that would be the craziest swap we saw, but coming in at number 9, things get even wilder. But before then, tap that like button if you're addicted to over-the-top customs, and hit the subscribe button to watch more videos like this on our channel. 9. 1976 Toyota Celica V12. Holding down the 9th spot is a build that should be illegal for how absurdly perfect it is. The 1976 Toyota Celica GT-V12. This isn't your grandkid's JDM tuner with a turbo 4-banger. It is a V12-powered rocket, built by Sean Bassett and his team at Attacking the Clock Racing. Originally, the Celica came with a 4-cylinder that whined more than it roared. These guys said, nope, and yanked that out for a 1G ZFE V12 from a Toyota Century limousine. This engine was meant to glide around Tokyo in dignified silence, but with custom CNC-ported heads, billet cams, and a full rotating assembly, it now roars to life with 700 horsepower on E85, or a modest 650 on pump gas. They even topped it off with 12 individual throttle bodies and custom velocity stacks poking out of the hood, giving it that hot rod meets JDM insanity. Now, you'd think slapping a V12 in a Celica would be enough, but they took it further. The transmission? It's a ZF 8-speed automatic out of a 2024 Supra, but interestingly, it has a 3rd pedal. They rigged up a clutch pedal to let you clutch kick into a drift or give it a quick rev at a stoplight. Talk about a conversation starter. This Celica sits low on a full custom suspension setup. The front end uses S13 Nissan geometry, while the rear got a custom pushrod arrangement courtesy of Moten Suspension, complete with inverted dampers anodized to match the British racing green paint, borrowed from a special edition JDM GT86 by the way. It's got that deep chin spoiler, rivetless overfenders, and side skirts that give it serious IMSA vibes. Inside, it's a mix of craftsmanship and performance detail you rarely see in builds of this scale. The interior is bathed in Lamborghini Cala brown leather and suede, stitched with precision by E3 upholstery. The custom carbon shell bucket seats with Willans harnesses keep you locked in, while the hand-stitched roll bar and custom embroidered tillet details make the cabin feel like a high-end race car lounge. 8. Toyota Land Cruiser rocks. This beast started life as a 2024 Land Cruiser, before Toyota's Calty Design research team in Michigan decided, let's see how wild we can get. They reworked over 50% of the entire vehicle. First thing they did? Slapped on a sliding soft top, turned the back into a pickup-style bed, and gave it a 4-inch lift with an 8-inch wider track, thanks to forged aluminum control arms, front and rear. It's got those trapezoidal butch fender flares that give it the stance of a linebacker ready to pounce. On top, there's a custom triple-bar roof rack paired with 7 roof-mounted auxiliary lights, ready to turn the darkest trail into daylight. Toyota didn't stop there. They bolted on custom steel bumpers with red tow hooks, heavy-duty brush guards, and a winch, just because. The doors are skeleton-style with an open lower section for that safari vibe, sitting above brawny rock rails ready to take hits on rocky trails. The A-pillars have a trestle bridge structure for rigidity, while the sloping rear pillar incorporates mall panels so you can strap your gear right where you need it. It's painted in spring green, a nod to vintage Land Cruisers, and they even tossed a custom jerry can next to the rear spare tire carrier for the rugged explorer look. A functional midgate lets you pass longer items from the cabin to the truck bed and gives access to integrated tailgate seating so you can crack open a cold one and watch the sunset after a day of crawling trails. Inside, it's got heritage orange leather for a pop of color, paired with 3D-printed door sills for weatherproofing. And the door panels come with built-in safety kits and webbing for your sunglasses and tools. Toyota even hinted it could become a future production model. And man, if they don't, they're missing out. 7. Toyota GR86. Toyota took a 2024 GR86, which we all know as a lightweight, rear-wheel drive sports car, and said, let's give this thing a turbo and all-wheel drive, then dress it up like a 90s rally legend. So they grabbed the 300 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine from the GR Corolla and shoehorned it into the GR86's engine bay, which is normally set up for a flat 4. It wasn't easy. Toyota had to redesign the front subframe and engine mounts, modify the chassis, and rework the steering rack to get the taller, transverse-mounted Turbo 3 to fit. They also brought over the all-wheel drive system, hubs, spindles, axles, and even the GR Corolla's differential, turning the GR86 from a tail-happy drifter into a dirt-flinging rally machine. They didn't just stop at the powertrain. The halo white paint job combined with the red and green Castrol-inspired livery screams WRC Hero. Toyota added red mud flaps, a beefy custom exhaust that exits where the license plate usually goes, a GT4-style spoiler, and 4 rally spotlights on the front, ready to cut through dust at a midnight desert stage. Inside, it's all business with a full roll cage, racing seats, and red 6-point harnesses. This isn't a car you cruise to the grocery store in, unless your grocery store is at the end of a gravel stage. They also fitted custom coilovers tuned for the rally life, and bolted on a set of alloys that look like they're ready for a Scandinavian flick at any moment. Toyota's Motorsports GM said the goal was to evoke memories of the Celica GT4, and man, mission accomplished. The GR86 Rally Legacy is exactly the kind of thing that makes you think, why hasn't Toyota put this into production? Because it just looks right, feels right, and sounds like it's ready to spit gravel at your buddies as you blast down a dirt road. 6. 2006 Porsche Cayenne Turbo S. You're looking at a 2006 Porsche Cayenne Turbo S that turned heads at the 2023 and 2024 SEMA shows, with a build so wild it almost outshines the desert lights. First off, the body got the full pink pig-style vinyl livery treatment over its black paint, giving it a retro race car edge with a hint of mischief. But don't think it's all for show. This rig's running a 4.5-liter twin-turbo V8 under the hood, and it's been kitted with SMP fabrication intercoolers, a Eurowise billet engine torque mount, and an IPD intake plenum. The exhaust breathes through fab-speed high-flow cats, while the secondary cats are deleted, so this thing sounds mean. The Cayenne's 6-speed Tiptronic S automatic transmission sends power through GTS-sourced differentials with a 4.1:1 ratio, paired with a dual-range transfer case to keep it capable on the trail or while cruising the strip. They flushed the coolant, swapped in fresh plugs, and even recharged the AC, so you can stay cool while you're roasting every Jeep on your local trails. It's lifted on a Berg Peaks 2.5-inch lift kit with adjustable control arms, and those 18-inch Mantra wheels wrapped in Kumhos add some aggressive stance to match the attitude. Porsche-branded calipers clamp down on ventilated rotors, and the dampers. They were resealed just 3,000 miles ago, so it's ready to hit the Mojave or crawl up Red Rock without a complaint. Outside, it's rocking a worn winch, LED auxiliary lighting, and a front-runner roof rack complete with a rooftop tent for those who believe in living out of their Cayenne for the weekend. It even has a Eurowise rear dual swing-out bumper with mounts for fuel, water, a spare tire, and a high-lift jack, practically a bug-out Porsche. Inside, heated front and rear seats, dressed in black leather with Pepita-style inserts keep things comfy. And you've got a Carrera GT-style shifter, reminding you it's still Porsche royalty. The dash carries pink pig-style gauges, wood trim, a Bose system, Porsche communication management, and a Garmin nav setup, so you're pampered even when the trail gets sketchy. It's sold at no reserve for $65,023 in March 2025. And honestly, that's a steal for one of the most head-turning Cayennes you'll ever see. Wrapped in pink pig glory, ready to hit the dunes or flex. 5. Nissan R34 GTR. There's rare, there's legendary, and then there's a built by legends. Nissan R34 GTR. The kind of car that'll make even a casual gearhead stop breathing for a second. Built by legends isn't just some shop slapping parts on skylines for clout. These guys strip these R34s down to bare metal, stitch in 400 extra welds for chassis rigidity, and bring them back to life with craftsmanship that makes your wallet cry, but your soul cheer. They brought one of these masterpieces to SEMA 2025, finished in that iconic Bayside blue, and folks, it was a shrine to every kid who grew up with Gran Turismo posters on their wall. Under the hood sits a Mainz MB, 7 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-six, cranking out 650 horsepower, doubling the factory figures that Nissan never truly admitted to anyway. This power gets funneled through a Getrag 6-speed manual transmission and straight into that legendary all-wheel drive system, ensuring that every one of those 650 horses actually gets put to the pavement. But the build isn't just about numbers. Garage Yoshida handled the body with a 108.3D alignment, reinforced strut towers, and added everything necessary to handle the Mainz engine's power surge. Underneath, it's all Aragosta suspension and AP racing brakes, 6-piston calipers up front, and 4-piston in the rear, so you can actually stop this rocket when your right foot finally lets off. The styling changes are subtle, staying close to OEM while dripping in premium touches. Inside, it's lined with black and blue ultra suede on the dash, seats, and door panels, paired with Mainz leather and Alcantara D-shaped steering wheel. Extra sound-deadening material in the roof and floors keeps things civil, but hit the throttle, and that civility vanishes under the wail of those turbos spooling. It's a Restomod done right, looking factory fresh while hiding its 650 horsepower punch. Built by Legends will build you one starting at $450,000, not including the cost of the donor car, and each build takes about a year to complete. They'll source the car if you don't have one, but be ready. R34 prices are already a circus, and adding this Restomod is like front row tickets with backstage passes. Number 4. The 1970 Cuda by Ring Brothers. Rolling into the number 4 spot is the Ring Brothers' first ever Plymouth Barracuda build. And let me tell you fellas, they didn't just dip their toes in the Mopar pond, they cannonballed right in with Infected. This thing roared onto the 2024 SEMA floor with an unapologetic presence that made folks stop mid-sentence, jaws dropping as they caught that custom pink eye paint screaming under the show lights. Under the hood, they stuffed in an 807 horsepower Hellcrate red-eye supercharged Hemi, turning this 70 Cuda into a straight-up street demon. It's mated to a Bowler Tremec TR 606 0.6-speed manual transaxle, because anything else would be a crime in this car. Ring Brothers didn't just build another showpiece, they turned it into a weapon that could embarrass modern muscle. They grabbed a roadster shop fast-track Stage 3 Charger chassis, tweaked it with a C6 torque tube, then tubbed the quarters to fit a monstrous set of 21 by 13-inch HRE Muscle Series 1/05 wheels in the back. Those are wrapped in fat 335/30 R21 Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, with the fronts holding 20 by 10 and a half-inch wheels on 285s, giving the Cuda a stance so aggressive it looks ready to pounce even when parked. But it's the details where Ring Brothers flex their craft. They moved the front wheels forward 1.5 inches, extended the rockers, shortened the front fenders, and tucked the bumpers with machined aluminum guards, keeping the classic silhouette while refining the proportions until they were just right. They even welded the window trim into a single piece for that seamless look. Up front, there's a custom machined single-piece grille and a lower valance with a wider mouth to suck in more air. The carbon fiber hood isn't just for show either, with a dramatic scoop that keeps that big Hemi breathing cool. Around back, a custom diffuser and carbon fiber trunk spoiler balance the build, making it look every bit as fast as it is. Inside, it's all business with a custom interior and a carbon fiber pistol grip shifter, ready to let the driver command that Hellcrate with authority. The car took over 5,600 hours to build, and you can see it in every detail. Infected isn't just a muscle car resurrection, it's a modern masterpiece wearing a classic suit. Number 3. Mazda MX5 with Lamborghini power. Taking the number 3 spot is the build that set the internet on fire and had folks on Instagram thinking they'd lost their minds. We're talking about a first-gen Mazda MX5 with what everyone thought was a Lamborghini V10 up front. Just imagine that for a second, your grandkid's lightweight Miata with a Lamborghini heart. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the truth is even better. Brazilian builder Jefferson Marcal from Hot Parts USA dropped a Gen V Chevy small block V8 under the hood, slapped on a Lamborghini Gallardo intake, and paired it with twin turbos that sit where the pop-up headlights used to be. Yeah, turbos for headlights. If that doesn't scream SEMA, I don't know what does. While the internet argued whether it was a Lambo V10 or not, Marcal just kept on grinning, letting the confusion swirl while folks lost their minds over the visuals. Underneath, it's a forged piston, rod-swapped, cammed-up Gen V Chevy small block, likely an L84 or L8T, with a Silverado accessory drive to make it all fit inside that tiny engine bay. It's connected to a Tremec T56 manual with a Cadillac CTS-V Getrag rear diff to handle the abuse this monster can dish out. What you get is a Miata that looks like it's about to go warp speed, sounding like a NASCAR at full tilt, while confusing everyone who peeks under the hood. It's the kind of build that makes you shake your head, laugh, and immediately want to drive it like you stole it. Visually, it's a Miata, but with that aggressive Lamborghini intake sticking out like a periscope, and turbos staring you down from the front. It's a build so absurd it's brilliant, proving that you don't need to follow the rules to create something unforgettable at SEMA. Marcal didn't just build a conversation piece, he built a legit performer. The forged internals, custom cam, and twin turbo setup mean it's ready to put down serious power while staying lightweight enough to dance around corners. It's got the attitude of a street brawler with the heart of an LS-powered monster, and when you hear it fire up, there's no mistaking it for a stock Miata. 2. Toyota GR Superbird. Picture this, a modern Toyota GR Supra 3.0 Premium, but dressed up in NASCAR royalty's Sunday best. That's exactly what you get with the Toyota GR Superbird, dreamed up by former Top Gear USA host Rutledge Wood. This build is a tribute to Richard the King Petty and his iconic 1970 Plymouth Superbird, blending JDM tuner culture with NASCAR heritage in a way only SEMA could handle. The idea came about as Toyota Gazoo Racing teamed up with Legacy Motor Club, the team formerly known as Petty GMS, to celebrate the Petty family's 75 years in racing. Rutledge took the reins and decided the best way to honor Richard Petty was to blend the Superbird's unmistakable lines with the Supra's sleek aggression. What you get is a car that looks like it rolled out of a Pixar movie, ready to hit the high banks of Daytona. Underneath, the Superbird keeps the Supra's stock BMW B58 inline-6 engine, pumping out 382 horsepower and 368 pound-feet of torque. Rutledge didn't just leave it alone, though. The car breathes through a cold air intake and roars thanks to a catback exhaust. giving it that throaty growl you want when you step on it. Visually, the Superbird is all about the petty blue paint job, with Richard's number 43 hand-painted on the doors and roof. The body kit? It's a tasteful homage, not a cartoonish copy. There's a carbon fiber front spoiler paired with a body color splitter, wide-body overfenders that give it a planted stance, and a Street Hunter Designs rear wing that nods to the original Superbird's towering fin without looking ridiculous on a modern sports car. Then, there's the wheels. 19-inch HRE C106 forged 3-piece alloys, finished in bright petty blue, wrapped in sticky performance tires ready to carve up back roads or strut down the strip in Vegas. Stiffer coilover suspension lowers the Superbird's ride height, adding to its aggressive look while tightening up the already sharp handling of the Supra. 1. Justin Cashmore's 1960 Renault Doofine. Taking the top spot on our most insane custom cars at SEMA 2025 Countdown is a car that has no business being this wild. A 1960 Renault Doofine, built by none other than Justin Cashmore. This thing started as a dusty, forgotten relic in the California desert, a Facebook marketplace find that most folks would have left to rust. But not Justin. After 20 years in the Navy, stationed everywhere from Japan to Italy, Justin brought back a taste for car culture that translates into pure mechanical madness. The original Doofine had a tiny 845 cubic centimeter engine, producing a modest 19 horsepower, barely enough to navigate a grocery store parking lot. That didn't fly with Justin. He tore it out and replaced it with a 2.8-liter 24-valve Volkswagen VR6 engine, making 230 horsepower, paired with a VW 6-speed manual that sends power to a limited slip differential in the back. Justin handcrafted a carbon fiber widebody kit that's 22 inches wider than stock, inspired by FIA Group 5 regulations, which gives the Doofine a stance so aggressive it makes modern supercars look tame. He added NACA-style air ducts in the rear windows to keep things cool, and ran NASCAR sway bars to match the bespoke pushrod and cantilever suspension system he designed himself. It's not just about the hardware, though. This build captures a pure sense of rebellion and creativity that's the soul of SEMA. It's a reminder that you don't need a big shop or $1 million budget to build something that makes everyone at the show stop and take a second look. You just need vision, skill, and a willingness to take a risk on something no one else would. Justin's Doofine doesn't just look the part, it drives the part. With that mid-engine VR6 layout, coilover suspension, and performance-tuned setup, this car handles like a dream, while spitting out the kind of exhaust note that'll send a chill down your spine. It's raw, it's loud, it's unapologetically insane. The car became a Hot Wheels Legends Tour finalist back in 2019, but it's here at SEMA, proving its legacy is still growing. Dai Yoshihara himself even took it for a spin and couldn't stop grinning. There it is, 10 of the wildest, craziest, and most mind-melting customs that ruled SEMA 2025. If you're all about insane builds and stories that sound too crazy to be true, smash that subscribe button now and join us for more videos like this.